What's up, man?
Did you turn?
Huh? Right. Do. All right, good morning, guys. Today is Thursday, October 26th. As usual, going over analysis for US 30, gold, and EU. This is some of the trade setups that, so I just marked this up. So US, anyway, I'll take it off since I'm not in the trades. I just sent them as trade ideas. So for US 30, actually let me start with gold right now because there's a 15-minute gold trade running. Also, this is a 30-minute setup as well right here, but the distance actually, it's a test and rejection of two zones. So this right here, this is one. Copy, paste. This is two zones actually. So there's this one. Let's see. Anyway, let me mark that up real quick. I'll remove the 15-minute one because we're not in that one. So this is one. Let me mark. So this is an entry, a 30-minute entry. However, 1977.4. It's actually not too far from the SARs, but I want to mark up where somebody would set break even about 30 pips right there. So I would want gold to come back down to this zone, and I find an entry on the 1 minute, and then like right there, this test and rejection also validated right here. So this one as well. Right there. So if price gets to this zone for both of these trades, I'll just go ahead and delete them because this is where somebody who took the trades on candle closure would set break even. But anyway, so US 30 daily bias bearish. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not yet at the 7-day cap. Gold bullish. EU, we have a bearish SAR, but only until this daily candle closes below here will I be changing my bias to bearish for EU. US dollar, probably tomorrow, if this daily candle closes above this by SAR, I will be changing my bias to bullish for the dollar. Then going down to the lower time frames, nothing for US 30 on the 4-hour. For a double SAR entry, let's see. Yeah, nothing on the 4-hour, nothing on the 1-hour. For gold, nothing on the 1-hour that we can see. Gold, nothing on the 4-hour as well. EU, nothing on the hourly. Oh, this is the 4-hour. Nothing on the 4-hour. On the hourly time frame, we do have hourly trades right here. So this is a double SAR right here. Just a second. What I'll do, I'll redo this ones. So I'll do this too. Let me see. 480. So I'll separate this ones this way. So this would be a buy on EU if this hourly candle closes. So we'll see how that candle closes there. Give me 1 second to find. Why is it? Okay. So this is in the next 20 minutes. So let's see what else. US 30. We actually had another test and rejection. I want to see. Yeah, this was a test and rejection. So we have a bunch of tests and rejections here for US 30. Let me start with the. So for these two trades, so gold has already pushed up. So this was a test and rejection. So this person would already be at break even. So this trade, I just go ahead and forget about it. Go ahead and forget both trade setups. Right there. So we need to start off and look for other setups. So nothing on the 30-minute. On the 15-minute, let's see what's happening. Let's see. I don't know why this is cutting off. 15-minute. So we have a bunch of 15-minute zones. We have this zone right here. We have this zone right here, but let's see if this closed above. Yes, it did close above this zone. So this is a break and continuation. Break and continuation buy on gold. Again, if this candle closes all the way up there, I'm not taking that. I would wait for gold to retrace. I don't think gold will retrace, but you can see the previous setups it gave us for the 15-minute and 30-minute have just pushed up straight into profit, even though the trade was a bit overextended. So this would be a possible break and continuation, but if the current candle closes where it currently is, personally, I'll wait for a retracement for gold. So nothing on the 15-minute for now on gold. And you can see this current 15-minute candle is breaking through this double SAR and this double SAR. So it might be forming another entry right there. For US 30, this is a test and there's a bunch of tests and rejections. So this is one test and rejection. And that's the entry that I sent as a trade idea before market open. I didn't take it. I don't take trades before market open. But again, this is another test and rejection. So for this one, so assuming this right here, assuming this to be also the test candle. So there's a bunch, right? So there was test, rejection. So also this candle, the rejection candle in the first move also became a test and rejection candle. So there's a valid test and rejection entry that's currently running. However, right, that entry was all the way down here. And of course, it's not an entry I would have taken. So this is an entry. We can wait right now on the 1 minute time frame to see, because price has already retraced to the sell zone. So right now we can go down to the 1 minute time frame and look for a sell on US 30. On the other hand, you can wait for, you can see there's another possible test and rejection, right? So the rejection candle for the current valid trade is a new test candle. So let's see what it does. So when I have a bunch of candles right there that overlap, like a rejection candle becomes a test candle, etc., I don't have to push it. I just wait for a new setup. So here, in any case, the best case scenario is for US 30 for this current 15-minute candle to retrace and close below here. So I'm not going to go to the, as much as there's a valid test and rejection entry right now, you can go down to the 1 minute and find that entry. I don't think it's worth pushing it. I have all these sell zones at the top here, so there's no need for me to try and chase a trade just for the sake of trading. So gold, so this is what I want. I want gold to come back down the way it's coming back down right now. I would want this gold candle to close in and around there. EU, there's this hourly trade that's pending. So in the next 16 minutes, it can be, so there's a couple of zones. So there's this double SAR right here on the hourly, another double SAR right here on the hourly. So in all honesty, probably better to wait. So I normally told you if a trade entry validates like multiple multiple SAR zones, it's better to wait for price to come back to the most optimal SAR zone. So for example, if this current hourly EU candle closes above this top SAR, it will have validated a break and continuation for this SAR zone. It would have validated a break and continuation for the middle. It would have validated a break and continuation for the top one. I can merge them, but nowadays I just prefer on just finding those doubles. So since it's 3 zones, so you can either take the trade based off of that, or you can wait for a trade based off of that. But of course, the most optimal one is right here. And keep in mind, for me, I now moved from doing a 25 pip stop on FX pairs, and now I'm doing a 15 pip stop loss on Forex pairs. So EU, going to the, this is the trades idea I'd sent in the Discord. Again, I didn't take that, it was just a trade idea. So looking at the 30-minute for EU, you can see we have a right here. There's a trade that's running on the 30-minute time frame. So this is why it's key for you guys to just understand the strategy so that you can trade by yourself. Because sometimes for me, if I have red flags in trades or if it's before market open, I won't take them. So this is a double sell SAR zone. You have a break continuation. So this right here is a current buy on EU that's currently running. And let's see how far it would be with a 15 pip stop, 30 pip TP. So not yet. So this is a trade I can go ahead and mark up, like where somebody would be setting break even. So if EU comes back down to this zone, I can go down to the 1-minute entry and look for a buy. But if EU gets to this zone first before retracing back down here, then I'll just go ahead and forget about it. On the 15-minute time frame on EU, we 15-minute time frame. This is a break continuation. I just don't feel like trading EU. Like for EU, even though you're on the 15-minute time frame, sometimes you just get bogged down by a bunch of SARs. So you can see there's this one right here. There's this one, which might be the 30-minute. Yeah, but I'll stay away from EU for now. So US 30. Give me 1 second. This is a 30-minute zone, if I'm not wrong. Let's see what I want to do here. So this is a 30-minute sell SAR, so SAR zone. Just 1 second. I want to see. Okay, so the test and rejection, the third test and rejection was invalidated because this 15-minute candle closed above. But based off of the zone we are rejecting from, so US 30 just closed the gap it opened with yesterday after market closure. So now, based off of that gap closure, let me see something. I want to go down to the 1 minute. Come on. Okay, I want to see here the 1 minute. So the reason I'm now comfortable going to the 1 minute, so the third one, the last test and rejection invalidated, but remember there's this test and rejection that's valid, but validated down here, and you'd wait for a retracement on the 1 minute or an entry on the 1 minute. So, but I wanted to see how this other third test and rejection setup would go, because if this one closed below here, that would have been a good one. But given that it invalidated, that only leaves us with one valid test and rejection right there that has not yet been tested even on the 1 minute. So this is similar to like the trade I took yesterday on the 1 minute time frame. So I want to see what we get here for US 30 on the 1 minute time frame. If we don't get anything for US 30 on the 1 minute time frame, the area that US 30 is rejecting from, this right here is a double sell SAR for the 30-minute time frame. So we can wait for another 30-minute candle and then wait for a retracement there. But let's see if we do get anything on the 1 minute time frame. Gold here, what were we looking for? So gold, of course, validated right here, right? So gold, this is a double sell SAR on the 15-minute. This is break and it closed above. Let me just make sure. Yep, candle closed above that zone. This is the continuation candle, candle closed above there. So yes, that would be a valid entry. However, this is the zone I'm trading. So I am not willing to take the trade when it's here because my stop loss is literally 100% of the SARs. So this is a trade that I'll wait for down here. Then I go down to the 1 minute. Same thing that I'm waiting for on US 30. So the trade validated. Give me 1 second. There's also, so we just have a lot of zones. There's another possible break and continuation right here, also on the 15-minute time frame. But I want gold to retrace to this zone, and then I'll move down to the 1 minute time frame. So this is a possible, right? So if you guys can see it, this is the double SAR right here, break. This is the continuation candle. So we have another possible setup, but we currently already have a valid 15-minute entry. So we go down to the 1 minute time frame. I don't extend my SARs on the 1 minute, 5 minute, and daily time frames. So now I go down to the 1 minute time frame. I want to see gold come exactly to this zone. So like for right now, if it gives a 1 minute buy SAR, I'm not going to take it. Price has to first retrace down to the SAR zone that the trade setup was based off of. If it gives a 1 minute SAR, I am not taking that. If it gives a 1 minute SAR before then. So same thing here for US 30. For US 30, we already know that price has gone back and tested the actual double SAR zone that the trade setup was based on. So right now we're just waiting for that 1 minute live SAR. And at that point, I'll be looking to sell US 30. So gold, yeah, so I know that this is the zone gold needs to go to. All right, so EU as well, right? So EU is hasn't reached this point yet, right? So this is the entry that somebody who took on candle closure. That's where, and actually I think this one was on the 30-minute time frame. Yes, so this was on the 30-minute time frame. So right now, so yeah, and it's based off of this zone, right? So this is the EU buy that somebody would have taken on candle closure. So right now, personally, right, EU is coming back to tap me in before giving this person a 1:1 risk to reward. So even for EU, right now, I do the same thing. I go down to the 1 minute time frame. I do not extend my SARs. So do this. And then I wait for a 1 minute SAR buy or for EU on the 1 minute time frame. So today we're actually having good problems. So we have a lot of zones. Sometimes it can get confusing if you have a lot of zones that are validating at the same time. But you just have to, if you can't have all the, all of your zones marked up on the chart, just mark up one zone at a time if it gets confusing to you. But for me, I'm able to filter out and see what zones I'm looking at. So EU right now, this trade setup I'm looking for is based off of the 1 minute time frame. So keep in mind, we have a trade setup for US 30. So there goes the live 1 minute SAR. So here, we need 2 consecutive candles to close below this live 1 minute SAR. Until we get that, I am still going to stay out of US 30. Gold, I like how gold is coming back, right? But keep in mind, gold needs to come to this zone first before giving us that buy 1 minute SAR. But if it gives us a buy, live 1 minute SAR for a buy, I'm not going to take that before it gets here. So what I would want to see is gold come down to this zone. Gold come down to this zone right here. Probably even lower. I don't care where, even though it wants to keep dipping lower, so long as it's not giving that buy signal. Because if it gives that buy entry on the 1 minute SAR, gold will, have a good move to the upside. But at the very least, I want price to touch or to come to this zone because this is where the trade entry is based on. So US 30, it's fine, right? Same thing, same idea for US 30. If US 30 wants to keep pumping, I have no issue with that because keep in mind, this is where, or this is why we have those trade entry rules. So I don't care whether I have to wait an hour, 2 hours. I'm just not going to jump into a trade just for the sake of jumping. Also, we know that right here on the 30-minute time frame, we have a 30-minute entry for US 30 that's going to validate at around 10:30. So again, no need to rush. If US 30 wants to keep pumping, that's fine as well. So EU is in our area right now. So we need a live 1 minute SAR. And once we do get that, let me make sure the trade was based off of a 30-minute zone. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure I'm getting my zones right. So anybody who wants to hop in, EU is valid on the 30-minute, but for me, I would rather wait for price to come back here first. So keep in mind this markup, the trade validated here, the trade validated on this candle. So the EU is valid right now. And again, you don't have to trade like I do. For me, I just want EU to first come back to this zone right here and give me a 1 minute SAR. But if EU gets to this zone, to 1.05630 first before coming back, I know that the person who's currently in the trade, yes, the trade is valid right now. So I know that the current person who would be in the trade right now would be at a break even at this point. So at this point, if price gets here first before coming to this zone, I go ahead and delete the entry. But if you guys have other confluences that point you to a buy on EU, the trade is valid for me. I just want to see a little bit more retracement to get that optimal entry. All right, so there goes gold. So you can see gold has formed a live 1 minute SAR. So if gold gives an entry on this live 1 minute SAR, I'm not going to take it because again, gold has not retraced back to my zone first. So you can see US. So I think US 30 is priming up for that 30-minute entry. But right now, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And let me take care of something real quick. But if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and go ahead and ask. All right. So if there are no questions, so EU, I don't extend on the 1 minute. So let me do this. All right. So let me go over the momentum strategy real quick and what I was looking at yesterday. So again, on the 1 minute time frame, just don't extend your SARs or your charts will be a little too messy. So let's go over the momentum strategy real quick on the, like, for example, what I was looking at yesterday. So here I have buys. So I have buy SARs to my left. I have buy SARs to my left. I have sell SARs to my left, to my right, and of course, sell signals. So right here, looking at US 30 on the daily, this buy right here, oh, this was the hourly time frame. So let me go ahead and delete that. This buy right here is invalid because there was the previous candle did not reject off of an SAR. This sell on US 30 is valid sell. Why? And this is the daily. So on the daily time frame, we don't consider if the candle is above or below a moving average. So here for US 30 on the daily, the previous candle rejected off of an SAR. The candle that gave us the sell signal is not the lowest candle of that retracement to the upside. So this is a valid sell. So I'm trying to figure out, especially this buy and sell entries based off of this momentum indicator, I'm trying to figure out a good strategy of applying them because daily candles are pretty huge. If you look at this US 30 candle, this is a, what is it, 278 point candle. So that's a $278 move on US 30. But the way I like to think about it, if price gets back, which is why I have an alert here, if price gets back to this zone at 33,276, what I would do, I would go down to the 1 minute time frame and look for a rejection sell signal on US 30. So with this momentum strategy, with this one, I can do both buys and sells at any given day, like regardless of my daily bias, because keep in mind, the daily bias is only pertinent to the SAR strategy, by itself, but the momentum strategy is different from the SAR strategy. But here, like, for example, what I would want to test out, if US 30, so think of it like, for example, as an order block, right? So if US 30 gets back to 33,273, which is the high of the candle that gave us the momentum. So what this sell signal shows you on the momentum indicator is that is where sellers stepped in. And this is institutional sellers stepped in on US 30 on the daily time frame. So if price gets back here, and what I like about this entry right here is that it lines up with my daily bias also for US 30, even though if you're using the momentum strategy, you really don't need a daily bias. You just need the momentum entries to be valid. But here, I would want to see a rejection of US 30 at 33,267. So here's another thing, right? So we have a sell. So depending on how you look at it, there are people who consider, if a live SAR is formed on the 1 minute, there are people who consider even the candles that are not within that actual SAR. So I've tested that in the past, but I've gotten burnt, because if you look at it right here, if we sort of extend this candle, this live SAR to, I guess, like, let's put it at 10 candles. If we put it at 10 candles, you'll see this is a sell entry. So it just depends on what your default candle extension is. So by default, the indicators come with a 5 candle extension right here. So, but for me, did I take that trade? No, it has to be the actual live SAR on the live SAR on the 1 minute time frame with a with the candles actually breaking and closing above or below the actual SAR. So there's some. So this is where I normally tell you guys, I give you these tools to you guys, and then it's your job to decide whether you're going to do like a 5 candle extension by default or a 10 candle extension. But did I take that trade? No, because I wanted those 2 candles to close exactly on that live 1 minute SAR. But yeah, so unfortunately, right now, based off of how US 30 is sinking, at this point, I don't think I'll wait for another live 1 minute SAR. You can see how US 30 has. So I wish we had gotten that entry like literally here, but it is what it is. So at this point, I just go ahead and delete that. And then I go back to my 15-minute. I re-extend my SAR zones. So again, there's pros and cons for everything. I have taken trades where the 2 candle closures happen after that 5 candle SAR, and I've lost trades doing that. So just because that trade would have won if we took the trade outside that range, the amount of times I've lost trades by taking candles that are outside a live SAR are more than the amount of times I've won it. So I really don't feel bad about missing that, because I know the minimum extension I do for SARs is 5, which is the default the indicators come with. The maximum is 500 candles. So right now I just go back to the 15-minute time frame, and then I start looking for other trade setups. So keep in mind, we still have gold, we still have EU as well. So no need. So this is what I want, right? So for EU, I don't care if EU wants to keep. So at this point, I can go ahead and delete this. Oh, and also give me 1 second. Give me 1 second real quick. I need to stop something. What account is this? The other account is... Okay. My bad. I normally have like a bunch of systems I run. So we had a EU 1 hour entry. So this is what I was talking about right there, right? So for this 1 hour entry, let's see what happened with the validation candle. So let's replay this real quick so that we see what we are talking about. So I want you guys to observe these 3 zones right there. Okay. So we have a double. We have a double sell SAR here. This is on the hourly time frame. We have a double sell SAR here. This is on the hourly time frame. We also have a double sell SAR here, which is also on, actually that's a 4-hour zone. So my bad. So we have this zone and this zone. So this is a double sell SAR on the hourly. This is a double sell SAR on the hourly. So I want you guys to see what happens on the next candle. So for this particular trade, since we're looking for a buy and prices below the double SAR zones, this would be a break and continuation entry. Okay, so that hourly candle, so this candle broke and closed above. Oh, actually, it's a double SAR on the hourly as well. So this is a break candle. So it has broken this double SAR. It has broken this double SAR. It has broken this double SAR. So hopefully we're together until then, right? So this is the times I normally come in and I mark up possible break and continuation buy. So at this point, it's a possible break and continuation for this zone, and for this zone. Now, what are we looking for the next candle? We are looking for the continuation candle. The continuation candle, okay, so gold has tested our zone. So now we want a 1-minute live entry for gold, but it's fine. We still have time. So here, we want the continuation candle either to validate this zone right here, to validate the middle zone, to validate the top zone. So if the next hourly candle closed above this zone right here, that would have been an entry, a break and continuation entry for this zone. If it closes above here, it will be a break and continuation of this zone and this zone. If it closed above here, it will be a break and continuation of this zone, and this zone. And that's why when I tell you, sometimes you'll have trades that validate across like multiple zones, SAR zones. Your work, I would rather you wait for the optimal zone. So if a break and continuation has validated 3 by SAR zones, I would say wait for a retracement at the bottom zone instead of taking the top zone. But let's see what the next candle will do, the next hourly candle. And we were waiting for that trade. What did the next hourly candle do? The continuation candle closed below this top SAR. So this zone has been invalidated because the continuation candle has not closed above it. This candle closed below this middle double SAR, trade invalidated because the continuation candle did not close above. This same candle closed inside this double SAR at the bottom. So it also invalidated it because it did not close above. So this is the importance of waiting for those two candle confirmations. So at this point, right, and due to these rules, it just avoids you like FOMOing or forging into trades. So at this point, we don't have any hourly entry on EU. So we just step away from EU for now. So we do have, though, a 30-minute entry on EU, but we need a 1-minute live SAR to take a buy on EU. Gold, we are waiting for a live 1-minute SAR on gold right now because the trade validated on, what is it? I don't know, 30-minute or 15-minute time frame, but price has touched our zone right there. So right now, if I get a 1-minute entry on EU, I'm sorry, on gold and also EU, actually in extension, I will be taking that. Okay. Any questions? No questions? Sure. Everything I've said makes sense. Hmm. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do something else here at the end. Okay, so US 30, let's see, gold. So if gold wants to keep dropping, that's fine by me, right? The better, until we get that 1-minute SAR. So same thing with EU. So still waiting for that 1 minute. So also US 30. what's happening with US 30. So we know that we had a 30-minute entry that's also pending on US 30. So this zone up here, if I zoom out, it actually did not get to that. So, I think that was a... Wait, give me 1 second. Okay, yeah. So this right here, this zone is a 30-minute, it's actually a triple SAR, but I'll just mark it as a double SAR. So test and rejection sell. So this current 30-minute candle tested and closed below the 30-minute double SAR. It's actually a triple, but I'll call it a double. And then this is the continuation candle. So if this current 30-minute candle closes, that would be a valid sell for US 30. However, what is the red flag? Overextension in price. Because if you're, so what I would like for the current 30-minute candle for US 30 is for it to retrace and close next to this SAR zone. So remember, if I'm trading an SAR zone personally, I will always want to enter when price is at my next to my SAR zone. So if this 30-minute candle closes even here, I'm not taking, the trade is valid, the trade setup is valid, but the red flag is overextension. The only way, if I really, really wanted to take the trade, I would have to extend my stop loss so that my stop loss is above that area. And since for me, I go to 1:2 risk to reward, then it means I would also have to extend my TP. So I'm not willing to do that. So which is why for me, I always wait for a retracement. So if this 30-minute candle closes, I know that there's a test and rejection, but I'll wait for price to retrace up to the same zone and then look for, so these things want to keep dropping. So this is the importance of, right, waiting for those confirmations, because for anybody who took that trade when it validated up here, you'd have just gotten stopped out. So for US 30 here, this is where I would want to wait for that 30-minute trade. So let's go back to the 15-minute real quick. On the 15-minute time frame, you can see we have a triple sell SAR right here. So this is what entry is this? This is a possible break and continuation, because keep in mind, the break candle opened above the SAR. So price was coming above the sell SAR zone. So this is a possible break and continuation sell. Okay, break continuation. So this candle right here, if this candle closes, I would want US 30 again to retrace and close here, because these are the sell SARs I'm trading. So I would want this 15-minute candle to retrace and close back up. But again, I don't see that happening on the live session. So unfortunately, today might be one of those days we just don't have any trades to take on the live session, which is fine. But all this, you can see how all these zones I'm marking up as static zones. So if you guys have any other confluences, right, you can always use them. You don't have to wait until I say, oh, I'm buying this, or I'm, because if we do take like, for example, a loss on the live session and I go back and you don't understand the strategies, and personally, I can go back outside the live session and make that money back. But if you're just waiting for me to say I'm buying and I'm selling, then you might, I mean, you should have a good win rate given our returns, but you may not have as good a win rate as if you knew how to apply the strategies by yourself. So here I'm thinking we might get that 1-minute buy SAR for gold. So this is a point I start looking at my trade manager, because yesterday I had put like a huge risk on it. So we need a live 1-minute SAR to form on there. EU, so EU, there goes EU, right? So you can see we formed a live 1-minute SAR. So we need 2 1-minute candles to close above this zone. So I don't want candles to close outside of it, like what US 30 did. I need exactly this little green line right here. That's only valid for 5 candles. I need 2 1 minute candles to close above that. If it doesn't, that's fine. If EU wants to keep dropping, because what this tells me is that if EU keeps dropping on the way back up, it's going to form another 1 minute SAR. So we're not really missing anything. Display. So there's nothing for US 30, nothing for gold, so nothing for EU. Okay, let me go back to this momentum strategy. So here again, so I went over US 30 on the daily. So 4 hour, let's see, buys on the left, sells on the right. So 4 hour, this buy is not valid. It's the lowest candle of the retracement. Also, there's no rejection off of an SAR. This sell on the daily is not valid. It's the highest candle of that retracement. So nothing for US 30 on the 4 hour. On the hourly time frame, this buy is not valid. There's no rejection of an SAR. Also for sales, nothing is valid for US 30 as well. Sure, I'm not missing anything. Okay, perfect. For gold on the daily time frame, gold on the daily time frame, this is a valid buy for gold on the daily time frame, because this buy candle for gold wasn't the lowest candle of this retracement to the downside. The previous 1 to 3 candles had rejected off of SARs. So this is a valid buy on gold. However, I don't advocate for taking trades upon a daily closure, because if we do, so think of it like the power of 3, right? ICT is power of 3. If you expect a daily candle to be bullish, you would expect the candle to start by being a bearish candle, and then during the day it would switch back up. So it's, I think, also what's called a Judas swing. So this is why you guys have seen I've marked up a alert at 1964.243, because this is where the buyers stepped in for gold on the daily time frame. So if gold retraces to 1964, I'll be going down to the 1 minute time frame and looking for a momentum buy on gold on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, for sales, this sell yesterday, so same thing for gold. This is the daily. So you see this zone right here. So let's replay this real quick. So same analogy, right? But it's for sales, but same analogy. Let me make sure gold hasn't formed anything. And EU. Okay. So same analogy right here for yesterday. So here, this trade actually the day before, because actually I think I took this sell on gold, but the same analogy that I would want to see for the buy on gold. This sell was a valid sell. Why is it a valid sell? It's not the lowest candle, or I'm sorry, it's not the highest candle of this move up. Also, so we don't care about price being above or below moving average on the daily time frame. Also, the previous candle had rejected off of a sell SAR. So 1982.5 was a critical selling area for gold if gold came back to that zone. So, and I know this is the daily candle, so we might not see exactly, right, the exact price movement, but you can see here on the next daily candle around this zone, 1982, 1986, we had some rejection for gold. And of course, today we also selling from the same zone, right? 1982, 1985. So this is the same thing I'm waiting for. If gold gets to 1964, I'm expecting some rejections back to the upside for gold. So anyway, that's why I have an alert set for gold on at that price point on the 4 hour time frame. Yeah, I think there on the 4 hour time frame. Let's see. So now when we go to the 4 hour time frame, if we are looking for a buy, we want the candle to be above the moving average. If we're looking for a sell, we want the candle to be below the moving average. And also in the momentum indicator for you, if you want to just filter that out, you can apply the moving average filter. But for me, I don't have to. Again, all these indicators are built with my logic, so I'm able to filter that out visually. For gold, I can tell there's nothing, there's no valid entry. currently on the 4-hour. This sell is invalid. As much as it's not the highest candle of this retracement, I would have wanted to see a sell SAR right here for this to be a valid sell on gold for US 30. I'm sorry, for gold, my bad. On the hourly time frame, no entry for a buy, no entry for a sell. So yeah, nothing really for the momentum strategy for now. I'm hoping we get that buy on gold during this session. Again, nothing here. 1982. On the hourly time frame, we don't have. So hourly time frame, US 30 may be setting up for. Let me redo this SARs right here. I will do it this way. So this is a double SAR on the hourly time frame. But anyway, this is the time you guys can ask questions. I don't know, Travis, let me know if it's you who'd gotten the indicators yesterday, because I'd mentioned we can go over the settings for it.
Yep, it was me.
Okay. I don't see us getting any other trades, right? Okay, so US 30, so this moves from possible break and continuation to an actual break and continuation entry. Excuse me. So this trade validated down here. Of course, it's not a trade I would take. I would wait for US 30 to retrace to this double sell SAR. I know it's a triple, but I'll just call it a double. I'll wait for gold to, US 30 to retrace up here, and then I'll go down to the 1 minute. But my job right now is to mark up for somebody who's entered this trade. So the trade is valid, but for somebody who doesn't care about overextension, I need to find out where would this person set break even so that I forget waiting for a retracement, because what I would want to see is US 30 coming back to tap me in before giving this person a 1:1 risk to reward. So this is why I've marked up this zone. So if US 30 gets here, and again, this is a valid sell, but personally, I am not going to take it, and I'm not going to take it as an official trade. But if US 30 gets to 32,914 before coming back to tap me in up here on the 1 minute, I'll go ahead and delete this trade, because I know the person who doesn't care about overextension would already be at a break even. So there's no other, I don't see any other setups unless all of a sudden gold spikes up and gives us a 1 minute SAR, even EU, and you can see volatility is getting out of the market. I was gonna go for, I was gonna show Travis how to set up the indicators. So if you guys want, you can drop off. I'll just be ending the YouTube stream, and I will be stopping the recording, but I'll still stay on the Zoom session, because I wanted, Travis just got the indicators yesterday, and I wanted to go over the settings for all of the indicators. So if any of you guys too have my indicators and you want to hang around and see how the settings for my indicators, because if you apply an indicator to your chart, it's going to come with the default settings, and sometimes there's just too much clutter on the chart. So you can hang around. Or if you guys have any questions in the meantime first about trade setups, let me know before I go ahead and demo the settings for Travis. Okay, just 1 second.
Bro, can you just go over the, the 30-minute entry on gold? I think there was one that validated before.
The one that invalidated?
No, the one that validated.
Okay, all right. I'll do so, just a second. The one that validated. So let me go over that real quick. So 30-minute time frame. And for you other guys, keep an eye out on the 1 minute time frame so that we don't miss that buy on the 1 minute time frame if it validates. So let me go ahead and extend this again. CRs. Let me delete this. So the 30 minutes. So 30 minutes. So it's this one right here. We actually have two 30-minute SARs, SAR zones. So the first one is this zone right here. This is the first 30-minute double sell SAR. The other one is this one right here. Those two. Now, if you look automatically at the candles, you can see this candle came all the way down here, came back up. So that's your test candle. So it validated the test for this zone down here and this zone down here. Okay, the next candle, if you're looking for test and rejection entry, came down, rejected again from this zone right here and from this zone. So both candles closed above this zone down here and this zone down here. If you're taking the entry on candle closure, that would be your entry right there. And this is the entry that came before market open. And I said I don't take trades before market open. So this trade went and achieved like a 1:1 risk to reward. And for this person, they should have been at break even. So for this trade, anybody who entered it would have been stopped out at break even. But personally, I wouldn't have taken it. A, it was before market open. B, I want to take trades that are next to the SAR level. So for this one, since this test and rejection validated for 2 levels, so keep in mind, I tell you guys, it's better to take the most optimal level. So yes, you could have taken the trade based off of this top SAR right here, which actually wasn't too bad because the distance between, it's actually, if this trade had happened outside of before New York Open, it's a trade I could have taken. But again, so, right, if you look at the entry relative to your SAR zone, this is only like 4 pips, and your stop loss on US30 is 30 pips. So that's not bad of an entry. But if you have a trade setup that validates across multiple SARs, in this case, since this trade setup validated this double SAR here and this double SAR here, it's better to wait for price to retrace back to your to the most optimal entry. So if you're looking for a buy, it's better to wait for the bottom SAR for price to come back all the way to the bottom SAR. If you're looking for a sell, it's better to wait for price to retrace all the way back to your top SAR. But since for me, I was waiting for price to retrace here. In order to avoid FOMO, I went ahead and marked up 30 pips for the person who took the trade on validation, so that I knew if this trade went here first before coming back down to tap me in on the 1 minute down here, the person who entered the valid trade would be at break even. And if price came back down, it would take them out at break even, and it would be terrible of myself to enter a trade that is already, somebody is already out at break even. So this is the point about, if you're waiting for a retracement, mark up where somebody who entered on candle closure would achieve a 1:1. What that will do, it will avoid you forming into a trade that somebody else is already out at break even. So ideally, you'd be chasing a trade that's not already there. So at this point, this is why I'd marked up this 30 pips from this zone. And that's where I knew, okay, this person would already have been at a break even and they got stopped at a break even. So I go ahead and delete that trade and then just wait for another setup. So that was the 30-minute setup for gold.
Okay, like, when the setup is valid, but when do you know, how can I say, when do you know that the trade is like the move has finished? Like, how can I say, like you shouldn't enter again?
I just pointed that out. Just mark up. So if a trade is valid, mark up where somebody would achieve a 1:1 risk to reward. Because for all of my strategies, I tell you guys, if you achieve 1:1, set break even. So if a trade is valid and you are not sure whether to take it or not, and are not sure whether a trade is overextended or not, just go ahead and mark up where that person would achieve 1:1 risk to reward. So for gold, I do 30 pips stop loss, 60 pip TP. So I normally mark up 30 pips where the trade would be 30 pips in profit. For US30, I do 50 pips stop loss, 100 pips TP. So I go ahead and mark up 50 pips where the trade would be 50 pips in profit. So I know that if the trade gets to that point before coming back to tap me in an area that I feel I would be comfortable taking the trade, I just go ahead and delete and start all over again.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions before I go over the indicators? All right. Let me, and also you guys keep an eye out. Let me go back to the 1 minute because again, gold is still, and I think it's given a 1 minute live SAR. So just keep an eye out on that as I go over the indicators. Just 1 second. Okay, so you see it's given a live 1 minute SAR. However, I think it might do what US30 just did. It might pump up outside of this live 1 minute SAR. So let me stop the YouTube stream real quick.